Hi, I'm Teresa Lisum, and I'm with my guest co-host today, Cindy Berg. Hi, Cindy.
Hi.
We're evolving women. I'm evolving, you're evolving, we're all evolving. So let's help each other to evolve. So our intention with this episode today is to fill the world with uplifting messages, new perspectives, tools, resources, wellness ideas, mindset ideas, more about believing in ourselves. And we're here to give you permission to be your best self and live your best life. So welcome. We're so glad you're here. I want to welcome my guest co-host, Cindy Berg. Welcome, Cindy. We're so glad you're here. We're so glad everybody's here who's watching on the recording. We're going to look at the whole idea around the creative process today, and what that means and what it means for individuals or in society as a whole. So Cindy, I know you have some thoughts on that. So I'm going to let you take over right off the bat.
I'm so excited. I actually have a story. Sometime many years ago, when I was knee-high to a grasshopper, as my father used to say, I heard an adult say, wah, 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 wah. Too bad Cindy's not creative.
Oh my God. Ouch.
Yeah, too bad Cindy's not
Mm.
artistic. And from that point on, I actually made the decision that I was not artistic,
Yep.
and I focused all my energies on math and science.
Yes. Yes.
Absolutely, because
Mm-hmm.
as far as I was concerned, I was not artistic. And it was not until my 40s that I learned that that was not true.
Mm-hmm.
And how I learned that that was not true was that when my husband and I had our house built, he made me make all the design decisions
Mm.
with colors, with tiles. And I looked at him afterwards and I said, "Did you know I could do this?" And he said, "No, not really." He said, "But I was committed to proving you wrong."
Oh
God
my God, that
bless
is
him.
so cool. And that just something as simple as that, someone else might not think that that's a creativity thing. Picking the colors, how things go together, the textures, whatever. But yeah, that is an exercise in creativity, but other people might not see it as such because you're not standing in front of a canvas. You're not creating a musical masterpiece. Like, it's almost like that we see creative people in this lofty beyond us, that we're born with a high skill level and natural talent, whereas something just like you said is picking and choosing the way things come together in your home. That is creativity playing out right there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's so many ways people are creative every single day. Putting a meal together is
Mm-hmm.
creative.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Without a recipe,
yeah.
which I cannot do.
Um, and and what I find really allows you to be even more creative is gratitude for every single time we're creative.
Love that. Love that.
It's like, wow, look at what I did.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, God, for that skill. Or thank you, universe, for, appreciating the beauty around me. Helps
Which
me be
and
more creative.
I was just gonna say, which invites in more creativity. I love that. And that's so simple. Yes,
Yes.
I appreciate what I've done, or I appreciate what this person has done. And that might open the door to more creative ideas for yourself. I know my mom, she was creative, but I don't think she saw herself as such,
Mhm.
because we have this, again, the stereotypical view of what creativity is in our society. But her house was decorated. It wasn't like high end stuff, but the way she could put together things that she got, the thrift store or whatever. Like she would put these little beads around her lampshades and her colors and her texture. It was just little small things. She called them chotkeys,
Oh,
the way she
yeah.
would place them. And it wasn't tacky. It wasn't too much overdone, because you've seen that. It wasn't like a hoarding situation. Not that it was, but it was just tastefully done. And I always admired, and she would mix it up periodically throughout the year. And it was just the coolest thing, but I'm sure she did not think that that was any big deal.
Right. Well, that's because it just came to her.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
it was part of her.
Mm-hmm.
And we take those things for granted.
Mm-hmm.
Other people can see them. Um,
Right.
I, I
Right.
I think the other thing that we become disconnected to as we grow up, which is really too bad, is we forget how to play.
Mm-hmm.
You know, anybody who's had grandchildren or anybody who's an aunt, if you babysit, you learn how to
Mm-hmm.
play again. You know, one of the things I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely loved to do as a child is finger painting.
Yeah.
But you know what? They have adult color books.
Yep, they do. That is a thing now.
And you know, you can find creativity and joy in just doing that, putting one
Mm-hmm.
color next to
Yep.
the other. I love crayons. I love the smell of the wax of crayons because it takes me back to my childhood.
Uh-huh. I love that. Just being or allowing yourself to be in that space of play and fun and the smells, and it's the physical, tactile, sensual being the senses of all of those supplies or whatever. So that is just so fun. I love that reminder because we do forget growing up.
Yes.
and and and
Yes.
and I'm all about kids, and I taught kids for a very long time. But when my kids were younger, like when we were at a gathering of people, if there were kids around, I would always gravitate over to the kids. Like, oh, I'd rather be over with them.
They're having more fun. Well, and you know what?
Exactly.
I have toys all over my desk.
Oh my gosh, that is fun.
Um, yeah, my husband bought it for me because I had never seen a sock monkey.
Yeah, and those are weird. Those are weird things. I never quite understood those.
Well, they weren't they were not a Midwest thing. So it was something he had to introduce me to. But
Yeah, somebody was very creative with that because I don't get it.
yeah, I don't get it either. But I have toys around and I think it's just fun to have little, as your mother would say, tchotchkes,
Mm-hmm.
little odd things around my desk that kind of delight my
Mm-hmm.
senses,
Mm-hmm. That make
you
you
know,
smile.
that
Yeah.
make you smile,
Yes.
and they're there for no reason except to make you smile.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I love that. And that's part of the creative process, I think. Just
Absolutely.
getting yourself to smile at something whimsical because somebody, like whoever came up with that sock monkey idea,
Yeah.
why in the heck, what is the sock and a monkey and how do they go together? And then somebody had to create that. And so I especially love going to like craft events or art galleries or whatever. And I love looking at what people have pulled out of their creative process, their creativity. And I love whimsical, and it's just delighting for me to see what people can come up with. So it's fun for me to just look at all that stuff and appreciate their creative flavor that they brought forth in this world. It's just delighting, I think.
Well, and the brain is a delightful tool and an instrument. And I know you're very much into our oils, but have you ever been somewhere and had a scent evoke a very strong memory from your very distant past?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it just takes you on that trip
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's the scent of like food from when you were a child or your mother's
Mm-hmm.
perfume, and you're just transported for a few minutes to a very joyful, odd little time where you can almost recapture that childhood feeling. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
and I think our brain is always waiting for those opportunities to be creative and to transport
Mm.
us to those places.
That's
You
a
know,
that's I love that idea. And when it gets that opportunity, it's like,
yay! Yes, I think our brain wants to play. I think our brain gets mired down in the day-to-day
oh
tedium,
yes.
and
Oh my gosh, yes.
it's looking for inspiration in things, which is why
Mm-hmm.
I think our brain sees patterns in things that don't necessarily have patterns in them.
Mm-hmm. Um, yeah, I was going somewhere and I lost that, and it will come back around. It was something in what you just said. But anyway, talking, it'll come back to me.
I'm sure it will. Yeah. The brain is an amazing thing.
It is an amazing thing.
But
And I know what I was going to say.
okay.
So about, like you said, as an adult, we grow up. I remember being a young adult, thinking like, I don't want to become an adult because like adults don't have fun. Like it looks like it's too much work, too much responsibility. I don't want to grow up. I remember thinking that.
Yeah.
And it does play out that way for some people. They feel that they have to be responsible and adult like, and they can't have toys around and act childish and get goofy. And so they fall into this pattern, this habitual, like being very, very serious. And it just saddens me. You know,
I, you
I've a trained laughter yoga facilitator.
know.
So I love to laugh and I love to guide people to laugh. And laughing is a muscle, just so you know, just like bravery is a muscle. But I was in with a group once and somebody said, like, well, I don't laugh. It was like, just like, I mean, I almost wanted, like,
To
my
laugh at
heart was
them.
just breaking for them.
Yes,
Like,
it's
I
so
just don't laugh. Like,
sad.
they had gotten to that point in their life where they either didn't have the opportunity to laugh, their experiences were so terrible that they lost the desire to laugh. And I just felt really bad that they were to that point where they could express that I just don't laugh. Like, so it's just delightful that you have toys around, and the creative process can be fun and joyful. And maybe we need to make that intention to come back around to allow our creativity to expand and explore and have fun and allow our brain those opportunities to look for those creative things, even if it's just looking at like your little sock puppet. Or here I have I'm going to show I don't even know if you could see it. One
Oh,
of
I
my
love it.
kids gave me that. So, I grin every time I look at it, like you said. So
Yeah.
just implant these little things through the course of our day or our week that gives us moments where we can laugh. We can think back to a fun memory, but it's almost like we have to do it with some intention.
Well, you know what? I think part of the problem is people take themselves way too
To
seriously.
right, right.
It's like, are you kidding me? If you don't want to take yourself too seriously, get a dog. Dogs take almost nothing seriously.
Oh my gosh, you're right. Or yeah, well, cats can be more serious, I guess. I was saying any kind of pet, but you're
Yes, but
right. Dogs seem more creative and whimsical and fun compared to a cat. But I don't want to get into that thing because I don't want to make anybody mad.
no matter what you say, a dog will look at you like, that is the most profound thing I've ever heard in my life.
Oh my gosh, that
You
is so
have to laugh
funny.
at a dog. I mean, Dogs are just amazing. But as our cats and birds and
Yes,
every
yes, they all
critter
have
on
their
earth is amazing.
they have their own
I
personalities,
love
you
all
know.
pets. And I've
Yes.
had almost every pet as, a child or adult. And I think they're all amazing and they're all humbling. But you know what? We take ourselves too seriously. And you know what? Every once in a while, you gotta make a silly face to remind yourself that that you know what? Life is too short to not have joy.
We're here to have fun and to create. We are creators, and I forget that for myself. I have to remind myself that I am a creator. I can create, and maybe we all need to remind ourselves as that. And we don't have to have this defined, view of what is creative. It's not all about being on stage or being a professional violinist or whatever. I mean, those are awesome. Those are high level, but it's in the daily regular stuff that we all do where we can find our own creative outlet or our creative downloads of things that we could do. So yeah, maybe look at your life and see at the points where you are being creative. You just don't know it.
You create footprints in the sand when you walk on the
Good
beach.
point. Good point.
I
mean,
mean,
just like you said, the mealtime, people who can create those beautiful cakes and cupcakes, like those are just amazing, but they're just baking, like they're not
if you can follow
they're not painting a
instructions.
canvas, which is our stereotypical. But I want to just really come back to that comment that was made to you as a child.
Yeah.
Sometimes these comments that people make to us, and when we're in a vulnerable age or a vulnerable state of mind, like they stick with us forever.
Absolutely.
Or a long time until we have an awareness around them and are able to change them or let them go or redefine how we interact with them.
Yeah.
So
or have somebody else who believes in us just enough to say, oh no, you can do that. And then say, well, I didn't really know if you could do it, but
right.
I was going to make you do it to see if you could.
So
and I found I could.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. We don't know we can do things until we actually try them.
Right. And if you never step out of yourself, you never try. And that is the big shame. That is the big shame. And it breaks my heart that people are so afraid of trying that they never try.
Yep.
Because, the only reason not to try is because you're afraid. And my question then is, what are you afraid of? Are you afraid of looking stupid? Guess what? I make a practice of looking stupid at least once a day.
I hear you. Same here.
I do it in public all the time. And guess what? Little kids think I'm fabulous.
Because they can accept you. They're non-judgmental. And
absolutely. They think I'm funny.
Yeah.
You know what? I have blue hair.
And, I know. I love that.
And I've had blue hair now for 5 years. I did this, but I have a lot of older women come to me and say, God, I wish I had the nerve to do that. To which I say, what are you waiting for? If you don't like it, you can always dye it back.
That's a good point.
But a lot of children just love my hair.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I love your hair. I love your hair. And it's like,
kids get it,
Kids
get it. Yeah. That's why I love kids so much. They're honest.
But when my husband makes remarks about other people, I always look at him and go, who am I to say? For God's sakes, I have blue hair. So I can always make myself humble by saying, for God's sakes, I have blue hair. I don't judge anybody.
Oh my gosh, I love that. There's so many gems here. We could go off on so many tangents. This has been so fun. And I am just going to encourage our viewers to go get some toys and put them around. Have them where you can just look at them or grab them and play with them. Why not? We're
Have
all
some,
kids at heart. We just don't realize it. Some
you
of
know
us
what?
have forgotten it.
Put something that inspires you on your desk today.
Yes, that's an awesome call to action. I love that. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Cindy. I so appreciate you being here. And we will see you next time. Bye-bye.